Greetings from Tokyo. This is Daisuke, and we are talking about Ingmar Bergman's cinema. In this video, I'd like to talk about the films that are included in Ingmar Bergman's cinema. So these are the films that are included in this box set. And remember, the box set here is a Blu-ray set. So all the films you're getting here are Blu-ray quality. And we are also talking about restorations that have been performed recently with respect to these films. And so we're getting a lot of quality image, video quality, and also audio quality. And to be perfectly honest, the audio quality and video quality of all of the films that are featured here is excellent. I am truly impressed with the presentation of the films in this set. So in terms of quality, you're not going to get anything better than this at this point in time. This is as good as it's going to get for a long time. But that being said, there are some films in this set that have also been released by Criterion individually, and so this is a video about the Criterion collection. So let me talk to you about the films that are included here, and I will try to make brief comments about those titles here that have also been released by Criterion individually. So without further ado, I am now going to be talking about the films that are included in the Ingmar Bergman cinema box set. I will be going over them in filmography chronological order, not curated order, but filmography chronological order. Okay, so if you don't want to hear it, please stop this video and you can come back at any time. But now let's talk about what's here. The first film that's included here is 1946 Crisis. Now the film Crisis was also made available in the Eclipse series early Bergman DVD set that was released by Criterion Collection some time back. And this is a DVD, whereas Crisis, as included in the box set, is a Blu-ray. Now, I should say also that Crisis, as presented here in the DVD, is 1.33 to 1 aspect ratio, whereas Crisis, as presented here in the Bergman box set, is indicated as being 1.37 to 1 aspect ratio. So that's something to consider, of course. So you're getting a very great DVD quality image in this particular Eclipse series release, but you are getting I think a considerably high quality image in the Ingmar Bergman's cinema box set. So, but in any event, Crisis is the first film, and Crisis has been released by the Criterion Collection before. So that's the first film. The second film that is released is A Ship to India, 1947. Now, A Ship to India is a film that has not been released by Criterion before. So this is one of the so-called 18 titles that have not been released by Criterion up to now. So A Ship to India, 1947. Next is 1948's Port of Call. Now, Port of Call was also a title that was included in the early Bergman Eclipse series set. So this is another DVD from that Eclipse series set. And let's see, the Port of Call aspect ratio here is 1.33 to 1 in the Eclipse series DVD, whereas in the Ingmar Bergman Cinema Blu-ray set, it is 1.37 to 1, and the Blu-ray here is spectacular. But Port of Call, there we go. Next is the film Thirst. Now, Thirst is from 1949. And it was also a title in the Eclipse series set, and this is 1.33 to 1 DVD, but in the Blu-ray, in this, it's 1.37 to 1, and again, the Blu-ray image is spectacular. Thirst. Next is 1950, To Joy. Now, To Joy was also a DVD in the Ingmar Bergman early Bergman Eclipse series set. And To Joy here also is 1.33 to 1 in the DVD, whereas in the Blu-ray box set it is 1.37 to 1. Spectacular set, spectacular, beautiful image. Next we have Summer Interlude, 1951, and as you can see, the Criterion Collection did release this some time back in this individual release Blu-ray. Yes, you're getting Summer Interlude in the Bergman box set as well. Next, you have the film Waiting Women from 1952. Now, this is a film that has not been released by Criterion, so you're getting this film in the Criterion Collection for the first time via this box set, so Waiting Women. The next film is Summer with Monica. Now, Summer with Monica also was given a lovely Criterion Blu-ray individual release, but it is presented here as well, and this film is from 1953. Next, you're getting the film Sawdust and Tinsel from 1953 as well, and Sawdust and Tinsel was recently released by the Criterion Collection as a Blu-ray, and so yes, you have this recent release by Criterion, but also the film is presented in the box set. Next, the film is Lesson in Love, 1954, and A Lesson in Love has never been released by the Criterion Collection. Next is the film Dreams from 1955. This film also has never been released by the Criterion Collection. Next is 1955's Smiles of a Summer Night. Now, Smiles of a Summer Night has also been released by the Criterion Collection in the past, and here is the Blu-ray. Next is 1957's The Seventh Seal. Now, The Seventh Seal has been released by Criterion on many occasions, and this is the Blu-ray here. But of course, it has to be included in the box set of Ingmar Bergman's cinema, so The Seventh Seal. Next is the film Wild Strawberries. Wild Strawberries is from 1957. Now, Wild Strawberries has also enjoyed many releases from the Criterion Collection. This is the Blu-ray. Next is 1958's Brink of Life. Brink of Life has never been released by the Criterion Collection as of now, and so you're getting it for the first time via the Criterion Collection in this box set. Next is The Magician. Now, The Magician has been released by the Criterion Collection, and here is the individual Blu-ray release. So, The Magician from 1958. Next is 1960's The Virgin Spring. And The Virgin Spring has been released by the Criterion Collection in an individual release. Here is the Blu-ray. Next is 1960's The Devil's Eye. The Devil's Eye has not been released by the Criterion Collection before, so you're getting it for the first time via the Criterion Collection in this box set. Next is Through a Glass Darkly. Now, Through a Glass Darkly is a film that has been made available in this DVD set, which has Through Glass Darkly and some other films, which I'll talk about in a moment. But this is a DVD set, and you're getting this DVD set, or you're getting the film here, which is, of course, in a Blu-ray form. So Through Glass Darkly has been released, so this is 1961. Next also is 1963's Winter Light, which also is included in this box set, and this is a DVD, whereas you're getting Winter Light here as a Blu-ray. Next is The Silence. The Silence is included here as a DVD, whereas The Silence is included here as a Blu-ray. Next is the film, the Winter Light is 1963, and The Silence is 1963. Next is All These Women from 1964. Now, this has never been released by the Criterion Collection, so you're getting it for the first time via the Criterion Collection in this box set. Next is Persona, 1966. So Persona has been released by the Criterion Collection individually. Here is the dual format edition of that film. And so dual format is Blu-ray and DVD, and of course here you're getting the Blu-ray. Next is the film Hour of the Wolf. Hour of the Wolf is from 1968, and it has never been released via the Criterion Collection. So you're getting it for the first time in the Criterion Collection in this box set. And next is a film from 1968, Shame. Now, Shame is included here, and Shame is also scheduled to be released individually later this year, 2019. So look out for that when it comes out. Next is The Right from 1969, and here's another one that has never been released by the Criterion Collection before. Next is The Passion of Anna. Here is another film that has never been released by the Criterion Collection before. Next is Fora Document. This is a documentary on the island of Fora, and this is from 1970, and this has never been released by the Criterion Collection before. Next is The Touch, 1971. And this has never been released by the Criterion Collection before. Next is 1972, Cries and Whispers. This, of course, has been released by the Criterion Collection before. Here is the Blu-ray. So 1972, Cries and Whispers. Next is Scenes from a Marriage. Now, Scenes from a Marriage came out recently as a Blu-ray. It's been out before as a DVD, but it recently was upgraded to Blu-ray. So here it is. This has the television version and also the US theatrical version as well. So the television version is from 1973, and the US theatrical version is 1974, and both versions exist here. And of course, both versions exist here as separate entries in the Bergman box set. Next is the film The Magic Flute. The Magic Flute is from 1975, and here is the DVD. Now, as of this video, please note that Criterion is scheduled to release The Magic Flute in an all-new Blu-ray. So this should be very exciting. In the meantime, this is the DVD, and it is a pretty old release from Criterion. So you're getting quite the quality upgrade when you go to this box, in my personal opinion. Next is 1977, The Serpent's Egg, and this has never been released in the Criterion Collection before. Next is Autumn Sonata. Now, Autumn Sonata is from 1978, and this has its own individual Criterion Collection release. Here is the Blu-ray. Next is Fora Document 1979 from 1979, and this has not enjoyed a Criterion Collection release before this box set. Next is the film From the Life of the Marionettes from 1980, and this is the first time that it's being made available through this box set in the Criterion Collection. Next is the film Fanny and Alexander. Now, Fanny and Alexander, there is the theatrical version and the television version, and both versions are available here, and both versions have been made available in Criterion's release individually. And here is Fanny and Alexander, which has both the television version and the theatrical version. Then there is After the Rehearsal. Oh, I'm sorry, Fanny and Alexander, excuse me. The theatrical version was 1982, and the television version is 1983. Next is After the Rehearsal, 1984, and that has never been released on Criterion before. And Saraband from 2003, and again, first time being released here by the Criterion Collection. And there you have it. So those are the films that are included in this box set, and as I've said, some of the films have not been released by Criterion. And I should just point out as a note, when I say the films have not been released by Criterion, what I meant, of course, is the films have not been released in a physical media release. I'm not considering any releases that might have occurred via streaming services in the past, Filmstruck, that might have occurred in the past. So I'm not including those because I never had Filmstruck when it was available, and so I never used Filmstruck, so I don't know what the Filmstruck catalog was. So I don't consider the streaming service availability of any of the films. I'm only considering the physical media releases here. And so you are getting quite a number of films that have not been released in a physical media form by the Criterion Collection before. So you're getting quite a lot here, quite a lot. And then I should say also, just a quick note about the films that you are not getting in this particular box set. Now, please note that you are getting quite a number of the films from the early Bergman period, that is from the 1940s. As I mentioned, Crisis, Port of Call, A Ship to India, etc. But you are not getting some other films. So you're not getting the films, for example, It Rains on Our Love. You're not getting the film Music in Darkness, Prison. And you're not getting the film This Can't Happen Here, also known as High Tension. So the question is, how should you try to seek these films out? And I suppose the answer to that is, if you want to. I'm sure some of them are available. I know, for instance, that Music in Darkness and Prison, as of this video, I know that they're available on Tartan DVDs, and in fact I have them somewhere in my shelves here. I know It Rains on Our Love was also released in I think it's an Artificial Eye Blu-ray set, but the Blu-ray set I think now is out of print, so it's hard to get your hands on it. And I don't know about the availability of the film This Can't Happen Here, because I know that I think it was the BFI, maybe last year, released the film in theaters on a very limited schedule, so hopefully some people were able to catch that. I wasn't able to catch it, obviously, because I'm not in the United Kingdom, and perhaps the film was shown elsewhere as well. So I did remember reading about it, and I do know people who have seen it, but I don't think it's been made available on a proper commercially available release on a DVD or Blu-ray. So if you know of any information about that film as being available on DVD or Blu-ray, please let me know. And then there's the film, I think from 1976, called Face to Face. And Face to Face is one that I think thematically would have worked very well in the context of the mid to late 1970s work of Ingmar Bergman, but it's a bit unfortunate that it's not included here. I know it's available on a DVD, which I have somewhere here as well. But yes, so Face to Face is not included here. And also there are other works, television play works that have been made by Bergman later in his career, in the 80s and 90s. So many of those works are not included here as well. So that's a real shame. So for instance, The Blessed Ones is not included here, or In the Presence of a Clown is not included here, and some others as well. So I don't know how to get those television works from the 80s and 90s. I do know that, for example, the work In the Presence of a Clown, I do know that is available on, for instance, a DVD that is from France, but for me, I can't get it because my French is not good enough, and I think it only has French subtitles. It doesn't have English subtitles, so I don't think it's very difficult to find some of his work with English language or Japanese language support, which is what I would need. I do know that there are there have been television works, for instance, that have been made available as supplements to his other releases from other labels, but that's not an issue for the Criterion Collection. So That is all to say that there are many, there are not many, but there are a number of releases that have not been released in this box set and that are still out there, so to speak. So what to do about those? I mean, as I said, you can try to hunt down copies of these that have been released on other labels, and in fact it might be worthwhile to try to find them after you have finished the set. And if you are so enamored by the film work of Bergman, I would certainly suggest that you get those other titles if you haven't already. In particular, I think Face to Face is really worthwhile because it does say something very interesting in the context of Bergman's filmography, which is being discussed here in this particular set, especially in the context of the Criterion Collection curated order. But I don't think it's essential. You know, if you want to be complete, of course, it's certainly something that you must consider. But I don't think it's essential. And again, I would say also that it might be worth just having a kind of a wait and see attitude or approach, because I'm sure Criterion or other labels are trying to get their hands on the release rights to these other films that are still out there, so to speak. So perhaps given the success of this particular box set, we might see more of these other films being released sometime in the near future. So I would just be a little bit patient, and I wouldn't go out and try to spend an exorbitant amount of money trying to get all these films if you are a completist. So, but if you do manage to find these films or see them showing in movie theaters, of course I would suggest that you go out and take a look, because they are certainly worth it, and especially if you are so excited by the films of Ingmar Bergman. You know, nothing should stop you from trying to find these films, especially if you can watch them at a reasonable price. Okay, my friends, so that is a discussion of the filmography that's included in this box set as compared to the individual releases that have been made by the Criterion Collection. And I will see you in the next video. So until then, my friends, cheers.